Part 1: The Ominous Prelude. In the desolate, windswept expanses of northern Iraq, we are introduced to a world that lies at the nexus of history and the supernatural. Here, against a backdrop of archaeological intrigue, we encounter Father Marin, an aging priest whose mission takes him to the heart of ancient mysteries buried beneath the desert sands. Father Marin's journey commences as he embarks on an archaeological dig, an expedition that holds both historical and spiritual significance. The priest, distinguished by the weathered lines etched into his face, delves deep into the earth, intent on unearthing the secrets of an enigmatic civilization that predates modern memory. In the midst of his excavation, Marin stumbles upon an artifact, an idol of unspeakable malevolence. This grotesque figure, a representation of a demon, emits a palpable aura of darkness. The idol serves as an eerie harbinger, foreshadowing the horrifying events that are about to unfold. As he unearths this vile relic, Marin senses that he has uncovered an ancient evil, an evil that has slumbered but is now rousing to life. This prologue in the deserts of Iraq sets the tone for the supernatural horror that will grip the narrative and leave an indelible mark on those who dare to journey through its pages. Part 2: The Serenity of Georgetown. Our narrative then transports us to a place far removed from the desolation of the Iraqi desert, a tranquil corner of Washington, D.C., known as Georgetown. Here, the serene lives of actress Chris McNeil and her beloved 12-year-old daughter, Reagan, unfold against a backdrop of seemingly everyday existence. The contrast between these two worlds, the arid deserts of Iraq and the leafy streets of Georgetown, could not be starker. But it is precisely in these divergent landscapes that the duality of our story is brought to life. Chris McNeil, a luminary in the world of cinema, has recently relocated to Georgetown, driven by the allure of her burgeoning film career. Her excitement and enthusiasm for the opportunities that lie ahead are palpable, and her life is a whirlwind of scripts, cameras, and premieres. Yet beneath the veneer of glamour, she remains a mother devoted to her daughter, Reagan. Reagan, a 12-year-old girl with an effervescent spirit and an endearing charm, is the heart of Chris's existence. Her laughter and innocence are the source of boundless joy for her mother. Reagan, in her tender years, represents the very essence of purity and love. Part 3: The Transformation of Reagan. However, the tranquility of their lives is soon to be shattered by forces that defy comprehension. Reagan, the embodiment of innocence, is on the precipice of a profound transformation, a transformation that heralds the arrival of malevolence. The first signs of this transformation are subtle but disconcerting. Reagan begins to display a series of bewildering and deeply disturbing symptoms. She metamorphoses into a vessel for profanity-laden tirades, her sweet demeanor vanishing in the wake of these verbal outbursts. Her behavior takes on a violent and inexplicable quality, as if she has been seized by an otherworldly force that knows no bounds. The seizures that grip Reagan are the most harrowing of her symptoms. Her small frame writhes in pain as her body is convulsed by an unseen power. Her helplessness in the face of these seizures is a torment to witness, and they become a constant source of terror for her mother. And then, the inexplicable takes a horrifying turn. Reagan, in an act that defies the very laws of physics and rationality, levitates off her bed. Her levitation, a manifestation of supernatural defiance, is an act that sends shivers down the spine of those who bear witness to it. She hovers in midair, suspended by unseen hands, a chilling testament to the forces that have taken hold of her. But the manifestations of her possession are not limited to levitation. Reagan also exhibits superhuman strength, a strength that seems to be drawn from the abyss of evil itself. The child, who was once a picture of innocence, now wields a power that is inexplicable and profoundly disturbing. Part 4: The Descent into Darkness. The strangeness of Reagan's condition becomes impossible to ignore, and it eludes all attempts at rationalization. Filled with a sense of bewilderment and growing terror, Chris embarks on an urgent quest for medical expertise. A parade of doctors and psychiatrists are summoned in the hope of unraveling the mystery that shrouds her daughter's affliction. Yet, the enigma remains unsolved. Medical science, with all its knowledge and advancements, is unable to provide an explanation for the malevolent force that has taken root within Reagan. The incongruity between the manifestations of her possession and the realm of scientific understanding becomes increasingly apparent. The inability of the medical profession to provide answers leaves Chris in a state of profound desperation. She is torn between her role as a mother, seeking to protect her child, and the limitations of a world that offers no solutions. Part 5. A conflicted priest struggles. It is in this climate of confusion and mounting despair that we are introduced to Father Damien Karras, a figure as complex as the forces that are about to be unleashed. Karras is not only a priest, but also a skilled psychiatrist, a combination of roles that has brought him into direct confrontation with the dualities of human existence. The young priest is no stranger to inner conflict, for he carries his own demons. His faith has been tested and battered by the relentless waves of doubt, a doubt that has been magnified by the loss of his beloved mother. Karras was unable to save his mother from a harrowing descent into dementia, and her suffering left a profound scar on his soul. Karras's faith in God and the Church, as well as his faith in himself, are in a state of crisis. He is haunted by the nagging question of whether he is, in fact, equipped to heal the spiritual wounds of others when he himself is so deeply scarred. Part 6. A skeptical priest and a desperate mother. It is against this backdrop of personal and professional turmoil that Chris MacNeil, consumed by desperation and concern for her daughter's well-being, approaches Father Karras with pleas for help. Karras, a man of intellect and reason, initially regards her with skepticism. His background as a psychiatrist inclines him to view Reagan's condition as a manifestation of psychological disturbance. In this view, her outbursts, profanity, and seizures are seen as cries for attention or attempts to manipulate her environment. Karras, dismissing the notion of an exorcism, views such practices as antiquated and rooted in superstition. He perceives them as out of place in the modern world, which relies on the advancements of science and psychology to explain human behavior and afflictions. However, as the inexplicable horrors that have befallen Reagan persist and intensify, doubts gnaw at Karras. The skeptical priest and psychiatrist is now faced with a conundrum that challenges his understanding of the world. There is something far more sinister at play, something that transcends the bounds of science and psychology, and it is not so easily dismissed. Part 7. The Unseen Malevolence Unveiled. As Father Karras investigates the disturbing events surrounding Reagan, the inexplicable and incomprehensible nature of her behavior becomes increasingly apparent. He begins to suspect that the affliction is not psychological, but rather an act of possession, a demonic possession of unparalleled malevolence. The manifestations of Reagan's possession, her supernatural strength, her profanity-laden tirades, her violent outbursts, and the levitation defy any rational explanation. They are manifestations of a force that operates beyond the realm of science and psychology, a force that seeks to destroy, torment, and consume. The realization dawns upon Karras that the forces that have gripped Reagan's soul are not of this world. It is a malevolence that transcends the bounds of the human experience, a darkness that can only be vanquished through spiritual intervention. Karras, the skeptical priest and psychiatrist, is now faced with the daunting mission of exorcising the evil that has taken root in the heart of Reagan. Part 8. The Church's Reluctant Recognition. With his newfound conviction, Father Karras turns to the Catholic Church for assistance. He seeks the Church's recognition and support in what he believes will be a battle against an ancient and powerful evil. He consults with his superiors, explaining the dire situation that has befallen Reagan and Chris MacNeil. Reluctantly, the Church acknowledges the gravity of the situation and grants its approval for an exorcism. The decision to proceed with an exorcism is not taken lightly. It marks the recognition of an evil that transcends the human realm, an evil that has taken possession of an innocent child. In this moment, the Church acknowledges the reality of demonic possession and the need for spiritual intervention. Part 9. The Dawn of the Dreadful Ritual. The exorcism, a ritual of unparalleled magnitude, begins. Reagan, the innocent girl who has been consumed by the malevolent force, stands at the epicenter of the supernatural maelstrom. Her body and mind have become the battleground for the forces of good and evil. Father Marin and Father Karras, the priests charged with carrying out the exorcism, find themselves in the heart of a confrontation that defies all reason and explanation. The room in which the ritual unfolds becomes a crucible of suffering and terror. It is here that the forces of light and darkness collide in an unrelenting struggle for dominance. The exorcism is a nightmarish and grueling ordeal, a harrowing confrontation between the mortal and the supernatural. Regan, or what remains of her, is subjected to the relentless assault of the ritual, her body contorted and her voice twisted into inhuman utterances. The exorcism is a battle of wills, a battle that tests the faith and resolve of the priests, and it is a battle that carries the weight of life and death. Part 10. The Tragic Sacrifice of Father Marin. The exorcism exacts an inexorable toll on both priests. Father Marin, the elderly and battle-worn priest, finds his strength waning as the ritual unfolds. His aging body struggles to withstand the supernatural assault, and he is pushed to the limits of his endurance. In the midst of the ritual, Father Marin succumbs to the overwhelming strain. His heart, a heart that has witnessed the horrors of war and human cruelty during his service as a military chaplain, can no longer bear the weight of the malevolent force. In a heart-wrenching moment of sacrifice, Father Marin dies, his life extinguished by the demonic entity. Marin's death is a shattering blow, and it leaves Father Karras to confront the malevolent entity alone. The weight of responsibility and the magnitude of the evil that confronts him bear down on Karras, who is now the sole guardian of Regan's soul. Part 11. The Final Confrontation. As the exorcism reaches its zenith, Father Karras faces the full brunt of the demon's fury. His faith and resolve are tested to their limits as he battles the malevolent entity that seeks to possess Regan's soul and drag her into an abyss of darkness. The room itself becomes a crucible of suffering, with the walls seemingly closing in on Karras and the possessed girl. The ritual, an intense and terrifying battle, reaches its climax in a final confrontation between good and evil. Part 12. The Ultimate Sacrifice. In this heart-stopping climax, Father Karras makes the ultimate sacrifice. As he grapples with the malevolent entity that has taken possession of Regan, he understands that there is only one way to free her from the grip of evil. In an act of astonishing self-sacrifice, he willingly allows the demon to enter him. He offers his own body as a vessel, understanding that this is the only way to spare Regan from further torment. With the demon now inside him, Karras leaps from the window of Regan's room and hurtles down a flight of steps. The impact is catastrophic, and Father Karras' life is extinguished in a final act of astonishing heroism and sacrifice. Part 13. The Aftermath. The aftermath of this nightmarish battle leaves Regan traumatized and Chris McNeil forever changed. The demon's influence has been eradicated, and Regan is finally free from its grip. However, the scars and trauma that she bears are deep and enduring, a testament to the horror she has endured. The Exorcist is a relentless exploration of the eternal struggle between good and evil, faith and doubt, and the depths of self-sacrifice that individuals are willing to plunge into when faced with incomprehensible malevolence. It is a story that probes the darkest corners of the human psyche and the nature of faith, redemption, and evil. Part 14. A Legacy of Horror. William Peter Blatty's magnum opus, The Exorcist, stands as a monumental work in the horror genre, leaving an indelible mark on the collective psyche of readers and viewers. Its impact extends beyond the realm of fiction, raising profound questions about the nature of faith, the existence of evil, and the enduring battle between the forces of light and darkness. The story is a testament to the enduring power of narrative to evoke fear, contemplation, and catharsis. It serves as a reminder that, in the face of incomprehensible evil, there are those who will stand as guardians of the light, willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for the sake of others. The Exorcist endures as a classic, a chilling and masterful exploration of the supernatural and the human condition. It continues to terrify and captivate audiences, inviting us to confront the darkest recesses of our own fears and beliefs. The legacy of this tale of possession, exorcism, and ultimate sacrifice lives on, a testament to the enduring allure of horror fiction and its capacity to plumb the depths of the human soul.